Good morning.
Okay. This is not, let me just call this up now. Get you guys going. And I'm glad, this Microsoft Teams, I got to tell you, I've been teaching for a while now. It's one of the hardest things there's just so many moving pieces that to get it, the recordings right and everything, they don't make it easy. And I got a good friend who works at Microsoft, and I don't want to, I feel bad telling her, but when she says, how you finding like some of it? Some of the stuff is great, but some of the stuff is just difficult.
It is. It's not like the regular Zoom. Zoom, you can just
No,
able to
it's
get
real.
in.
It's exactly. Were you able to open up the spreadsheets this week?
Yes, I was.
Okay, good, good. So you're able to open it up for week two.
Yes.
All right, good, good. Because I did send you the template because it wasn't in the week's work, right? So you were able to go in with the template.
Yes.
Good, good, good. I just want to check everything. Yeah, because I had one student tell me they couldn't get into the template, and I'm not sure why. All right, let me just say.
I just clicked the little dots at the top.
Right, because I sent you the two spreadsheets, one with guidance and one where you can actually add in.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. That helps a lot. Let me just see if I can get this right. All right. So then basically what you need to do this week. Some students just have a tough time with this. Counting, I know, can be frustrating, but all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen for a minute. Uh, okay. And let's see if we can make this work. Okay. So if you go to let's go to the announcements. That might make it a little easier. All right. Well, we have the announcements. You see what you need to do in week two. And then I'm going to go to content. So for those of you watching at home and looking for guidance and my friends here. So when I go to week two, you're going to see assignment guidance. So first thing I would do is open that up. And what we have here, and only because I know it's so difficult, so I wanted to give you some help with this. When you open it up, I'm just going to open it up for you. You're going to see that this student already started to place the things in the correct spot. So you could watch my video, you can watch my accounting playlist and get an idea of how the spreadsheets work. And I'll show you that in a minute. Or you could just follow the guidance. And, like one student says, is that all I'm supposed to do? Well, I don't want you, I want you to learn how to do this. And if this is getting more and more difficult, I don't want to make that more difficult for you. So I'm giving you guidance. And then, hold on. should be a spreadsheet. So hold on, and then the problem, and now here is the deliverable. And I think what some students are having a trouble with, let me open it. Let me see what the problem is here. All right, so I'm opening it and I'm enabling editing. And here's where the problem might be coming in. And I think some students are having a tough time, and that's where, now you see down here, there's a little, you have to move it over on that chart. And when you move it over, you see the spreadsheet. See what I think is happening to some people is saying, I'm seeing nothing. Well, you're seeing nothing because you're not, because, well, the way they saved it in the school, I mean, it happened. Somebody, whoever saved this, saved it in a way that this is what showed up. But you have to look up here, which is difficult. But you have to just, and I did say that in my thing, and you move it over. So I'm assuming, Laston, that you saw that, right? You did that.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so now all you have to do at that point is look at my guidance. Look at my guidance. And then salaries payable, right? You either put it in an account or the financial statement. So salaries payable is an account. Fees earned is an account. Accounts payable is an account, right? That goes into your accounts. Common stock. Supply expense, you would put in your financial statements. Unearned rent, financial statements. Okay, so you just have to know where to put different things, okay? I want to check one thing. And then you do the same thing with the income statement, and that gives you an idea of how to put an income statement together. Notice you just put down the expenses here, and then you net out your expenses. Okay, so this student didn't get it all correct. So let me see something. Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to stop sharing for 1 minute. Bear with me 1 minute. I just want to check one thing. Yeah, that's it. All right. So what I want to do next is the example I gave you was a poor example. I just picked up I copied the wrong example. So that, in fairness, I don't want to confuse the class. So go back here and go to our current class. And I'm going to go to week 2, which is where we are. And I apologize for this. This was the only thing for some reason I picked up the wrong one. So let's get rid of this. I delete that. And we're going to add the right guidance. Okay. I didn't. Oh, I skipped a line, and that's what happened there. Sometimes that does happen. Hey. So I'm going to go to document, and we're going to call this week 2 guidance. And this is the correct one. I'll call it correct. And then we're going to go here. We're going to add content. And I'm going to go to an attachment and download. There we go. That's the correct guidance. Just give me 1 second. I think I have it right. Bear with me 1 minute. I just want to get this correct. And this should help you. In the meanwhile, just ask me, are there any other questions? Because I think this is the big one for this week. So this should be the one we're going to have to deal with. Just bear with me. There you go. Good. 1 sec. Almost there. There you go. All right, so now we have it. This should work. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen again. And so once you open it, and now I have the right one on there. So like I said, I wish I would have gotten that right. Hi, John. How are you? Share my screen.
Hey, good morning.
And then when you open up now, once you open up your template, and once again, I want to go over this one more time. Once you open up the template, which is in the assignment, the one mistake that you're gonna, well, not mistake, but mistake that some people are making. My friend Lestanda did not make it, and it's understandable if you're not familiar or you just missed it. And I even the first time around, I said, like, what's going on here? I was ready to contact the school. But when you open up your spreadsheet, now I'm going to open it up again. You're going to see nothing, and you're going to say, well, but there is a tab there with the deliverable, and you're going to say, well, I don't see anything. I see, but you see over here, you have to move that over, and it's going to, once you move it over, then you have the assignment. Okay, then you have the assignment. So now, how do you do the assignment? Well, like I said, what I would do is not just, if you want to do this correctly, I wouldn't just look at my guidance and just stop there. You can, I mean, people are going to do it, I'm sure, but I'm trying to get you to learn. So what I want you to do, and I think it could be a big help, and I'm going to share my screen again, is if you go to my YouTube, you have my YouTube, you have my accounting channel. So if you go to my channel, and you go to playlists, or you don't have to, you'll go right. I have to go do that, but you don't have to. And once you get to Accounting Academy and my spreadsheet, you're going to notice, and I really got to tell you, spend some time doing it. You're going to have all these, we ever see these blues and yellows? It's spreadsheets that I put up with introductions to these different financial theories. And not financial theories, accounting theories. And so you can literally go through everything you need to know for this class. Financial statements, balance sheets, income statements, all of that stuff by just watching these videos and then downloading my interactive spreadsheet. That's going to really not just give you the guidance, because I'm giving you guidance to help you, but teach you how to do the accounting. So you really have to watch these. You don't have to, you have to, the stuff on depreciation we may do later, but the stuff on review of financial statements, you definitely want to go over right now. Okay, so let me be very clear about that. Now, if you do that, and where can you find that stuff? Well, let's just make sure you have it. So we're going to go into announcements. And when you get welcome from Professor Ed, I didn't put it there, so let me see where I had it. Additional welcome. Okay. If I didn't, I thought I put it in. All right. I know I had to put it in the first week, so let's do that. Let's make sure it's also in the announcements. Well, let's put it in the messages. Okay, let's put it in the messages. Okay. So I'm going to put it here just to make
I
sure
think
everybody
it
has
was
it.
in the expectations.
Please say it again.
I think it was in the expectations.
Oh, you're terrific.
I
Okay.
may have
Thank you.
seen it.
My accounting, thank you so much. My accounting, because I teach a lot of classes, so sometimes you miss what you did. All right, so let's do it again. Let's put it in here. Let's make sure we all have it. But thank you so much. That's a big help. And then we're gonna do interactive spreadsheet. And now you have it. And so I beg you guys to do it from that standpoint. All right, so now if for my folks here, sheet, and now you have that, and now that should go to as discussed in week 2 work or video live chat. Let's say live chat. There you go. So I'm asking you to go through that because it's going to make the rest of your life easy, and you'll learn from it. I don't want to frustrate this class by giving you a lot of stuff that takes a long time, but at least I want to get you guys on the right track. All right, so once you have that, now you have this opened. Okay, and you have it open and you moved everything over, so you have everything here. And then open up the next thing, which is I'm going to go here. And we're going to go back here. That's the wrong one. Here. And we're going to go to week 2. And once you open up week 2, now you're going to go to guidance correct. And when you open up guidance correct and download it, you're going to get that. So I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to give you just a minute. Open it up. So this way, I know that you can open it. And for those of you watching at home, please open it up. And once you have it open, you'll see that depending on the category or the statement, where it belongs. So salaries payable belong on the balance sheet, and it's a liability. Why is it a liability? Because you owe that money at one point. In other words, those are salaries that you have to account for that you have not paid yet. So sometimes we pay, we people have earned the money. Like let's say people get paid every month, but you closed your books on December 31st, and people get paid every month. But some people got paid on the 15th, but they don't get paid till January 15th. You haven't given them the money yet, but you owe them 2 weeks worth of payment. So even though it didn't come out of your cash yet, you owe it to them. So we talked about this last week. So in order to match it, you have to put those 2 weeks of payment into the balance sheet as a payable. So whoever looks at your balance sheet knows even though there's extra cash, that money starts to go out, like your checking account. All right. You might say, well, I got $1,000 in my checking account, but you know that before the next statement, you have to pay some bills. That money has to be accounted for. You really don't have 1,000. Let's say you have $300 or $400 worth of bills that have to go out that you sent the checks out on. Even though somebody looks at your checking account, they say, well, you got $1,000. No, I really have 600 because I have $400 worth of bills that have to go out. And that's what you're basically doing here. You're matching so you have an accurate record. So the balance sheet will reflect the salaries payable, but it's something you owe. And anytime you owe something, we call it a liability. Now, on the other hand, you've earned some fees, and that goes into fees go into your income statement, not your balance sheet. You got your income statement and your balance sheet. So I tell you, watch my videos, and those are revenues. Then you have accounts payable. Now those are things you took from, like, say, suppliers, but you haven't paid for them yet. Like, say you ran a supermarket, and they put all the cereal. Whoever gives you a cereal, put the cereal on the shelves, but they haven't collected the money for 60 days. So that's how they normally do it. It goes on the balance sheet as a payable, but it's a liability. It's something you owe. Now, common stock is what you own. So that is also on the balance sheet, but it's an equity. It's what you own. It's your ownership in the firm or whoever owns the firm. Now, supplies go on the income statement. And since you already paid it, it's an expense. Unearned rent goes on the balance sheet, and it's a liability. Unearned rent goes on the balance sheet, and it's a liability. Okay? Take a look at that. Make sure you got these before I keep moving. Okay? Retained earnings, the money you kept in your firm that you didn't pay out. You could either pay your earnings through dividends or you can retain it in the firm to build your company. That's on your balance sheet. It's part of your equity. Equipment is also on the balance sheet because it's not part of your income or anything. It's just something you own. That's an asset. Accounts receivable. Again, that's something that's on your balance sheet as an asset. It's money you earned, but you haven't collected yet. It's an asset. Accumulated depreciation is on your balance sheet. It reduces your asset on the asset side. Salary expense is on your income statement, and it's an expense. And the actual depreciation expense comes out of your earnings, so that's an expense. And that's how you solve that. Are there any questions from my friends here that joined me? Any questions?
What did you say with the fees earned was?
Which one, Lestanda?
Uh,
Talk to me.
the fees earned.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Uh,
Fees earned. Okay, fees earned are part of your income.
revenue.
This one here. They're part of your income statement because remember how it works. You got what you
Okay.
earned, and then everything goes into your balance sheet when you finally settle out your account. So try to think of it as what you made, and then like think about it personally. There's what you earned on your paycheck. That's like your income statement. And then whatever goes to the bottom line, now that goes into your balance sheet, which could be cash, or maybe you took some of your cash and you paid off your mortgage, so that reduced your mortgage, but you have a house. So you got to separate the income statement from the balance sheet. So a fee earned would be part of your income statement. An expense is part of your income statement. Any kind of expenses. But anything that is part of the ownership of the firm, like retained earnings or rent that you haven't earned yet, or equipment, that goes on your balance sheet. And then it becomes either liability or revenue. But when it goes into your income statement, it's either going to be an expense or revenues.
Okay.
It's a little confusing, but always try, and that's why I want you to watch the videos, but always try to differentiate between what's in your balance sheet and what's in your income statement.
Okay.
All right. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then you got your trial balance, because then you have to like kind of put everything together. So this is what we give you. And these are your debits. Things like cash go on one side, accounts receivable, supplies, anything you prepaid, anything you own is going to be on the debit side, right?
Right.
And then credits will be on this side, right? And then
Okay.
you go here and notice that she took the revenues, which was 4733. And basically what we did here was we took everything we made that we did, they did, she, you do the, you took your service revenues. Where were the service revenues here? Okay, so you took the accounts receivable, 4250. Oh, service fees earned. So she knows she made 4733, and she put it right here. And then she took out all her expenses. 1, 2, 3, 4. So really you're using this trial balance that you're going to get from your accountant to put together your income statement. So you earned 4733, and then you just follow the template. What came out in expenses? 1159. What came out in rent? 580. What came out in, just think about it like your own, this is your paycheck and these are the things you paid. Utility expense, insurance expense. Now, when you get those, you add those up, and there's your revenue. That minus that is that. Just like if you follow my video. Then to get the retained earnings, you take your beginning retained earnings, which was 83.25, and then you take your net income. That's what you added to the year. And then you pay dividends. Remember, you could either pay dividends or retain the earnings. Well, you did pay some dividends that year, 386. It's right here. So take away the 386, and there's your ending returned earnings. And then to create a balance sheet, you just place these things in the proper place. Or your current assets, your long-term assets, your liabilities, and then that's going to be your equity. And if you'll notice, based on the accounting principles, your total assets minus your liability is going to equal your equity. And that's it. That's all you have to do to solve this. But that's why it can be very confusing, and that's why I gave you all this guidance. So now you have complete guidance on how to get this done. Okay? Any questions? And let's just do this for everybody one more time. Okay, we're going to give everybody the correct items. They call it Rainbird. Oh, Rainbird? I think so.
Yes.
Terrible typist. You got to remember, I'm 65. When I went to school, typing wasn't a big deal. You know, they just didn't push it. You know, I went to a boys' school, played sports, that sort of thing, and it was kind of chauvinistic. But they didn't even have typing there. It was like go play gym or do something else. I guess they, you know, it was like again with 19. I went to high school in the 1970s in Brooklyn. It was a great school, but there were no typing classes. So I just said, you know, I'll figure it out later, or someone will help me type, or blah blah blah. And who knew that the whole world was going to need to type? And every time I try to learn it, like I just do. Remember that you have to move. What would you call that, Lasanda? The cursor? Move the spreadsheet over? How would you say
Yeah,
it?
You call it a slide bar.
What do you call
slide
it?
bar, cursor.
Slide bar.
Oh, thank you. The slide bar over to, because I'm having some students having a tough time with this, to see the template. There you go. Thank you so much. That's a help. And then let's add this. So we're going to add it. Okay, and we got it. All that replies. Should I put anything else here to help people? I think we have it all, right? Yeah. I'm glad you guys are a part of the group today because that helps. And then I'll send it over, and the Microsoft Teams is just awful. It's just very hard to deal with. And that's basically it for this week. So really what I want you to do is, do you have any questions, first of all? Any questions at all? Any questions?
No questions. No questions.
All right. So if there were no questions, thank you, Jennifer. I love Jennifer. Jennifer has this. I love it. Good, good. Lasanda, Jan, you've been a big help to me this morning. Once again, all you need to do is download the template. Just feel free, just download the template and then download the guidance and just put it together, and that should make sense to you. Remember, watch my videos ahead of time because you have an income statement where the money flows through and then it flows onto the balance sheet. Okay, but if you have any questions in the meanwhile, just ask me in the messages and I'll help. But I think with the guidance and everything else, you guys should be fine. And my theory is this: by taking the guidance, and so now you could see, okay, now I get it. Now I see where everything should go. And after you do that, and watch issues with that, just contact me, or we'll talk about it next week. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. But if you have any questions, you know where to reach me, okay? Or you could text me too.
Excuse me, sorry. I do
Yes.
have one question. Do we need a
Sure,
code
John.
word? Do we need a code word this week?
Oh, thank you.
That was mine. That was
Yes.
mine too.
All right, so the code word will be let's see, spring. Spring is the code word. Spring. Spring. The part of the year we are in right now, the season.
Thank
All
you.
right, guys. All right, I'll see you guys next week.
Have a good
Thank
day.
you, Lasanda. Thank
Have
you
a
for
good
the
one.
help.
You too. Thank you.
Have a
Bye-bye.
great one.